Okay, I want to tell you something about water in the desert. Well, my best advice is tell everybody, the people that you rely on, that you can count on, tell them where you're going. I mean, and show them even the track, or at least tell them you're going from a particular point to another point, and even tell them that if you don't call them at this particular time, then they should alert everybody to find you and so on. Carry a lot of water, more than you think you need, when you're going into the desert. And basically, if you lose your trail, go back to the familiar place, to the place where you think that you 100% know where it was, and don't try to think that things are going to be better. It's better to go back, even if it's a long way. It's better to go back to the last place that you know that was familiar for you, than to try to go back to the trail some other way. Okay, so that's good advice on not losing your way. But as I said, I wanted to tell you about if all this stuff didn't work for some reason, and you have made probably a mistake, or there was some misfortune or whatever, and you did find yourself in the desert, and you need to find water to survive. Well, it depends. If you're in the Sahara Desert, where it's just sands and there's no rocks or anything, I don't know what to say. It's just you have to know where the water holes are, and try to find a Bedouin or something like that. Some situations are I don't know what to say about them. But if you are in, like, for example, Judea Desert and other places, desert places, I think Arizona Desert, I haven't been there, but I've seen pictures, places where there are rocks, as you can see over here. Okay, so if you wake up in the morning really early, uh, there's a lot of debris, or I don't know if the word is debris or dough. I think it's debris, the word. I don't know the English word for it, but it's water that are forming in the morning. So if you are waking up early in the morning, the rocks will have drops of water on them. And if you take a piece of rug, or your shirt, and you just start cleaning this water, basically soaking the water into the rug from the rocks, and then squeezing the water into some container, then if you do, like, I'm guessing, three hours of work, in 3 hours you can make a really nice um, like respectable amount of water. Maybe I think even 2 liters, or at least 2 liters, maybe something between 1 liter and 2 liters, which is a good amount of water to sustain you throughout the day if you hide in the shadow and so on. So, from my experience, from things that I've read and things that I've seen, from waking up in the desert and testing it, you can actually get quite a lot of water from the debris if you make the effort and wake up in the morning.
Okay, what you're seeing here in these pictures, these are some pictures that I took in the morning. This is the camping site that I slept in that night, and it wasn't raining that night. All the water that you see are water from the debris, and debris or the morning dew, whatever you call it. And you can see that there's quite a lot of water accumulating on different types of surfaces, and these are just surfaces that I had at the camping site. Just plastics and tables and chairs in my tent. But if I'd be in the desert, the same drops of water would be on rocks. And if I woke up early in the morning, I could have collect quite a bit of water, just using a piece of rug and then squeezing it into a container. Again, this is 7:30 in the morning, and probably if I would have taken the shots earlier, like at 6 o'clock, I could even show you more water than in this picture. but I think you can get you see that there's quite a bit of water from the debris in the morning, even in the desert. So that's a good way of getting water.
Well, I wanted to add a couple of things also about water in the desert is if you don't have if you have a tarp and you spread it and you wake up in the morning, you can definitely use this piece of fabric to get the debris from the tarp. And if you spread it in a way that the water can collect, you might even get a small smaller water of water at the bottom of it. I don't know about solar steel because solar steel requires a lot of effort to do, and I'm thinking, would you spend that time collecting? Is it going to return the investment? Are you going to get a lot of water from it compared to the physical effort that you need to put into solar steel? I don't know. Uh, Another thing that was important for me to tell you is that in the desert, always be relaxed and do everything slow. You don't want to sweat. If you're doing any sort of work, just like I said, like collecting water from rocks, do it slow. Just move on. Normal rhythm. Don't try to rush things, and don't get your heartbeat to a level where you're starting to sweat, because then you're losing water. Okay. And I mean, I'm not talking about a situation like here where I have enough water and I'm basically all equipped with everything. I'm talking about a survival situation, obviously. So move slowly, and when it's and do all the stuff, physical stuff that you need to do. Just do it in the morning when it's still cold, and never do anything in the daylight. I don't know. I would argue it's probably better to walk at night. If you need to cover trail, or towards the twilight, or in the early morning, and when it's starting to get hot, it's best ways to find a shelter or make some sort of shelter, and you just stay there and do nothing. Basically, just rest until the temperature becomes bearable again. So that's a couple of other things about survival in the desert.